Hello students. So this is the last session of respiration. In this session, I will be explaining you the mechanism of breathing. I mean the physical process of breathing we are going to understand. The physical process of breathing includes inhalation as well as exhalation. So inhalation means taking the air inside. Exhalation means removing the air outside to the external environment. So inhalation is taking in air, right? So which is the air which we are taking in? We take in oxygen during inhalation and we releases out carbon dioxide during the exhalation. So this is what the inhalation and exhalation means. Inhalation is taking in oxygen and exhalation means releasing the carbon dioxide to the environment. So this is the diagram which is given in your textbook. Hence it is not clear. I will be using another image to explain you. Okay, now let us understand what happens during inhalation as well as exhalation. So when we breathe in, when we take the air inside, what happens is the air enters to the trachea and it reaches the lungs, right? So during this process, what happens? As the air enters inside the lungs, we lift our ribs. So if you want, you just feel it, right? You just take the air inside. When you take the air inside, what happened now? Your ribs, they rised up, right? Also, your diaphragm become flattened. Where is the diaphragm? You can see it is just below the lungs. So this diaphragm contains some muscles. Okay, so these muscles, they get contracted, means they get shrink. Okay, so as they get contracted, what happen? The diaphragm become flattened. And you also observe when you take the air inside, your chest cavity becomes larger, right? And also the air which entered inside your lungs, the air which entered inside your lungs, it finally reaches the alveoli and increase the surface of the alveoli. Yes, what happens when the blood when the oxygen enters into the alveoli? How does it reach to the alveoli? You know, right? So it first reaches to bronchi inside the lungs, then bronchioles, and finally to alveoli. How does an alveoli look like? Alveoli looks like this. Okay, so as the air, that is the oxygen, enters inside the bronchioles, it reaches the alveoli. Okay, so these alveoli, what does it contain? It is surrounded by the capillaries. What is capillaries? I told you, they are the blood vessels, right? So these alveoli are surrounded by blood vessels where actual exchange of gases takes place. The oxygen in the alveolar air is taken up by the blood in the alveolar blood vessels and that will be transported to the different cells of the body. I mean, whatever the oxygen which is entered to the blood capillaries or the blood vessels, these blood capillaries are taking, or these blood vessels which contain the blood, they are carrying this oxygen to the different parts of the body. So all the parts of the body the blood reaches and it also carries the oxygen and gives to various cells of the body to perform the oxidation, right? So during this breathing cycle, when the air is taken in, what happens? The oxygen is taken in, the carbon dioxide has to be released out, right? Whatever the air which has been entered into the alveoli, it reaches to the capillaries and transported to different parts of the, that is different cells of the body, right? Similarly, the carbon dioxide also has to be released out. So this carbon dioxide also which is present in the blood, actually the carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen, hence it is mostly transported in the dissolved form in our blood. I repeat, the carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen, right? Which is going to dissolve in the blood. Hence, it is transported in the dissolved form in our blood. So, this carbon dioxide, which is present in the blood now, enter to the alveoli, and from alveoli, where does it go? It goes to the, look at this image. From the alveoli, it reaches to the bronchioles and then to the bronchi, trachea, and it is being released out. Now, the important thing which you have to observe is, so when or during breathing cycle, as oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is released out, what happens is the oxygen which enter to the body, to the different parts of the body, takes place with the help of diffusion. But one more thing is, only with the help of diffusion, the oxygen cannot reach to the various cells of the body. Why? Because you know what is diffusion, right? Diffusion is the movement of particles from the region of higher level concentration to the region of lower level concentration. Suppose through diffusion, if the blood is reaching, then what happen? It is from higher to lower. What about from the lower level to higher level? We also have to think about it, right? So whatever the oxygen which is reaching inside the alveoli, it goes through diffusion. So as a result of huge size of the organisms, what happen if the animals are huge in size? What happen? The diffusion cannot only play a role of transporting the oxygen. So what does extra it require? This, whatever the supply of oxygen from lower level to higher level or to the various parts of the body is being taken or performed with the help of one of the respiratory pigment. Where is this respiratory pigment and what is this respiratory pigment? So this respiratory pigment is called as hemoglobin, which is present in the red blood cells. So it has the high affinity towards the oxygen, means it has the high attraction towards the oxygen. I'm telling you, if the size of the body of the animals is large, then what happens? Diffusion alone cannot play a role. What kind of role? Delivery of oxygen. As a result, what happened? Hemoglobin, which is having the high affinity towards the oxygen or attraction towards the oxygen, it carries the oxygen to various parts of the body through blood corpuscles. What is meant by blood corpuscles? The blood cells. Now, whatever the oxygen which has been taken up by the air, it reaches to the lungs. And finally, it reaches to the alveoli, and through alveoli, it also been carried through blood cells which are high in hemoglobin. Okay, the blood cells which are high in hemoglobin, and finally, it reaches to the different parts of the body. Why it has to reach to the different parts of the body? Because the oxygen is reached to the different parts of the body to perform the oxidation. We know that as a result of oxidation, what is the byproduct released? Carbon dioxide is released. And this carbon dioxide can be easily soluble in the water and it gets transported to the blood in the dissolved form. And finally, it reaches the alveoli. Here you can observe in this picture how the exchange of carbon dioxide as well as oxygen is taking place. This is the alveoli, surface of the alveoli, where oxygen is entering to the blood and carbon dioxide from the blood is getting entered to alveoli. Here the oxygen deficient blood cells means they are cells which contain carbon dioxide. Oxygenated blood cell means the cells which contain the oxygen. You can also observe one more thing here. You can observe the blood cells means the blood cells which contain carbon dioxide. Here the carbon dioxide is being removed and oxygen is added to those cells. So what happened here? The cells get oxygenated. Now this oxygenated cells which contain the oxygen reaches to the different parts of the body for oxidation. And what about the carbon dioxide? The carbon dioxide will be exhaled out of the nostrils. Okay, hope you understood. Now moving to the last part of this respiration, breathing in fishes. When I talk about fishes, the fishes breathe through the gills, right? So they have a respiratory organ called gills. Through the gills, they are going to respire. You have to observe is the rate of breathing in the aquatic organisms is much faster that seen in the terrestrial organisms. What is meant by aquatic organisms? The organisms which are living in the water. Terrestrial organisms, the organisms which live on the land. So the organisms which live on the land also respire, as well as the organisms which live in the water also respire. But the breathing rate here in the aquatic organisms is much faster. Why it is faster? Because the water also contain oxygen because it is H2O, right? The molecular formula of water is H2O. The water contain oxygen, and the amount of oxygen dissolved in the water is less compared to the amount of oxygen present in the air. Hence, what happens is the rate of breathing in the aquatic organisms become much faster than in the terrestrial organisms. Okay, here the rate of the breathing in the fish is much faster compared to animals which are living on the land. Why? Because the fishes, they take in the dissolved oxygen by the gills, and these gills are surrounded by blood vessels, and through these blood vessels the oxygen is carried to different cells of the fish where oxidation takes place. Okay, oxidation takes place inside the fish. As a result, what is the product released? Again, carbon dioxide, water, and energy is released. Why energy is necessary? Right? For all the living organisms, energy is necessary to perform the various activities. Hope you understood. So this is the end of respiration. In my next class, I'm going to explain about transportation. Thank you, students.